Welcome to another episode of Wog's Kitchen. On today's episode, I have a tutorial of chunky steak pie. I'm going to make these in a pie maker. So I'm just going to go through how I made it and the ingredients. So I've got 2 kilos of steak here that I've diced up, and I've added 2 tablespoons of salt, and I'm going to let that rest for about 20 minutes or marinate in the salt. In a deep pot, I'm going to add oil, and I'm going to add my steak, and I'm going to do this part in batches so I don't want to overcrowd the pan. Once my steak is brown, I'm going to remove from the pot, and I'm going to use that a little bit later on. So in that same pot, I'm going to add a few cloves. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of cumin seeds, and I'm going to add about 2 to 3 bay leaves. Once that's fried up for a minute, I'm going to add 4 diced onions, and I'm going to cook these onions off until they're golden brown. I'm also going to add 1 full bulb of garlic and a green chilli. Once I get this nice golden brown color, I'm going to add my steak back in. Now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste and give that a really good mix and fry it off for about a minute. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this pot with exactly 1 liter of stock. Now you can add 1 liter of water and a couple of stock cubes. You can have ready-made stock, you can have homemade stock, whichever. I'm going to add half a cup of Worcestershire sauce. Now once this is brought up to the boil, I'm going to put the lid on and cook on a low simmer for about an hour to an hour and a half. Now I'm going to check my meat now if it's nice and soft. Now I don't want it completely falling off, breaking apart, but I want it to be nice and soft. So once my meat is tender, I'm going to add 500 grams of mushrooms, and that cook it off for about a minute. I'm going to add half a cup of Bbq sauce, and I'm going to add a pinch of white pepper, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of coriander powder, and my secret here is I'm going to use a powdered gravy. Now this will thicken everything up and give you a nice runny but thick sauce. So it's time to start on the cooking process. So I've got shortcut pastry and I've got puff pastry, and with both of them I'm using a cookie cutter to make round shapes. So the shortcut pastry is going to be the base of the pie, and the puff pastry is going to be on top. So I just made a few splits in the shortcut pastry, and I'm gonna put it at the bottom of the pie maker and cover them all up. And you're supposed to use 3 tablespoons of filling. Here I've used 2, but I was being stingy. Now I've added a little bit of mozzarella cheese on top. This part is optional, you don't have to. And I'm going to pour the puff pastry on top to seal it. And you can put a little bit of egg wash on this if you wish. I've put some poppy seeds and sesame seeds, and that's it. I'm going to cook this roughly about 8 to 12 minutes till they're nicely golden brown. And basically that's it. It's an easy recipe, but it's just a little bit time consuming. So over here I've got my brother-in-law as the taste tester, but that's how my take on a chunky steak pie. I hope you enjoy this recipe, and until next time, have a lovely day.